You know what I hear to share with you is that we're in Shockum season. Shockum season. I'm gonna make it make sense, but hi, this is Marissa with Marissa Moments. So when God puts on my heart to say Shockum season, it's because people have been operating under certain assumptions when it comes to you. They feel like maybe you were born with a silver spoon in your mouth, which means like affluent or rich or with different benefits that maybe they didn't have, right? They assume because of the way that you present that you haven't had many burdens or traumas or any of these types of things. But what Spirit is put on my heart to share with you is that those truths are actually coming out, right? And sometimes what I receive is that don't be afraid to share your truth. Because what'll happen is the enemy will whisper in your head, in your ear, in your heart, and everywhere and say, you know what? You're being boastful right now. You're doing too much. You're being extra. When you're just sharing your truth. You're just sharing a part of your actual life story that may be pretty, it may be ugly, however anyone wants to perceive it. But that's even a lesson in and of itself, right? Because the way that people perceive whatever stories or whatever it is that you share with them is based off of their level of healing, not yours. So sometimes you may not want to share the trauma that you've experienced because people will meet it with, oh, that's horrible. That is horrendous, right? And it makes you feel some type of way within because you feel like you've already overcome that obstacle or whatever it is. And for someone to take you back to that place of saying, oh, it's horrendous, it's horrible, you start to overthink it and you start to think, well, maybe, it's much more than what it is. But your truth is, it's who you were. It's not who you are. And so anyone's response to it has nothing to do with you in the present moment. All of that to say, don't be ashamed to share. Listen, a lot of the trauma, a lot of the toxic training that we've experienced is based off of what happens in this house stays in this house, right? Of keeping those secrets, of refusing to give name those demons. Look, somebody don't even want me to get this message out, but I'm gonna get it out anyway. When we share, we take away its power. And when we share, we also grant a new type of power because we can relate with one another. The one thing that the enemy does not want us to do is to have that conversation, to find that resolution, to create that space of peace and abundance and growth, right? To give that opportunity and that moment of clarity to someone else who might be in the midst of a storm that you've already seen all the way through. So we are in a Shockum season. And what I receive is that's not even just about traumas, right? It can be about great things too. A lot of people don't even recognize or realize, because I don't mention it, that I have a degree, right? It could be about sharing your education. It could be about sharing the positive, impactful experiences that you have had that add credence to the things that you are saying. Because of course, we're in a society where if you don't have the paperwork to back up what you say, then everything is invalid, right? Even though your actual experience supersedes any type of document that you may get to say, yeah, it actually happened, because the paper is just a paper. An experience though, whoo. And that's why we're in Shockum season. Oh, okay, Lord, I see what you did there. Season. Did you catch that? Because it almost took me a second. When we seize them, they're going to be caught in their tracks, right? They're not even going to know what to do with you. And that's perfectly fine, because sometimes we have to shake the foundation in order to make sure that it settles correctly. Listen, I'm not a carpenter. I'm not a construction worker. But what was just put on my heart is that sometimes when there's a lot of bubbles, right, in whatever it is that you're trying to make a foundation of, you have to shake it up. You have to get those vibrations in there in order to dissipate those bubbles. Now, if you're in construction, maybe you can confirm this for me. I'm not going to Google it because I don't feel like it. But this is what God just put on my heart to share with you. So that's why we have to continue to shake up that foundation in order to make sure that it is solid. And so that people know you as you and not something or someone that you continue to portray yourself as in order to make everyone else feel more comfortable and confident. Because what you're doing is giving the world a false sense of confidence. So that way they can rest on the little efforts that they might be putting forth. So instead, when you share your truth and you get into that shock 'em season, then they know that maybe I need to do a little bit more work. And that doesn't mean that anyone's better than, less than, equal to, whatever it is. We have to get out of that mindset and mentality of comparison and competition. But if it just kind of lights a little bit of a flame underneath someone else and pushes them more into their purpose, then what's the harm? So that's it. Walk into your shock 'em season unapologetically, 10 toes down, all the things that the kids say these days, and keep it moving. So that's it. Thank you so much for watching. Apples and tomatoes, all the things. Happy healing, and bye.